Lament. She is still lamenting her misfortune. Embrace. Most schools embrace the new policy. Enchant. Her charisma enchanted a lot of people. Mandate. The state mandated health insurance for everyone. Travesty. The judge's decision is a travesty of justice. Relegate. The scandal relegated him to a mere clerk. Echelon. The fashion brand became popular among the upper echelons of Paris society. Bleak. At present, the economic outlook seems bleak. Malevolent. The man was giving her a malevolent look.
Tinge. The sky had an orange tinge to it. Tangible. The police have no tangible evidence of the incident. Capitulate. The tribe capitulated without a struggle. Abrasive. He is disliked by all because of his abrasive personality. Antagonistic. He is antagonistic to all forms of authority. Affinity. There is a strong affinity between the two substances. Incarcerate. Most of the prisoners are incarcerated for drug-related crimes. Improvise. I had to improvise a speech at my friend's wedding. Suave. The actor is famed for his suave manner. Staggering. The woman donated a staggering 1 billion yen to charity. Subjugate. The emperor sought to subjugate the world. Detract. The scandal detracted much from his reputation.
Propitious. This is the most propitious time to start a new business. Embitter. The death of their little child greatly embittered them. Encapsulate. The nurse encapsulated the contaminated needle for safe disposal. Morsel. As a vegetarian, she has not eaten a morsel of meat for 5 years. Instigate. He was arrested for trying to instigate a riot. Slab. The table is topped with a slab of marble. Impalpable. Radiation is invisible and impalpable. Dissertation. She completed her doctoral dissertation on environmental issues. Devious. Their way of earning money is devious. Extradite. They have refused to extradite the suspect. Rendition. The audience was moved by her passionate rendition of Chopin's Etude. Incongruous. The building appeared incongruous with the surrounding environment.
Entangle. The dolphin became entangled in a fishing net. Dump. Old tires had been illegally dumped in the field. Absolve. She was absolved of all charges and released. Scrupulous. She has a reputation for her scrupulous honesty in business. Nurture. They have less time to nurture their children. Garnish. She garnished potatoes with parsley. Inveterate. He is an inveterate gambler. Dissipate. The fog gradually dissipated. Blemish. It is such a minor blemish that you hardly notice it. Abhorrent. Any forms of discrimination are abhorrent to us all. Crunch. This new computer can crunch the massive data in a moment. Vehement. Despite vehement opposition, they introduced the system.
Trample. Her remark trampled the boy's innocent feelings. Repress. She tried to repress a laugh. Hazardous. We have to reduce the emissions of hazardous chemicals. Bucolic. This painter is well known for his bucolic landscapes. Inadvertently. I inadvertently pulled out the connecting cables. Insipid. I find this comedy program insipid. Savvy. Applicants must be web savvy. Intrepid. He was the most intrepid explorer in the village. Edify. His book edified its readers. Censure. The censure motion against the Prime Minister was rejected. Forensic. The police conducted a forensic investigation. Pilfer. The clerk pilfered $10 at the register.
Forlorn. The little girl was alone and looked forlorn. Pigment. The pigment contains iron and lead. Quota. She was not satisfied with her staff's quota performance. Eminence. He achieved international eminence as an orchestra conductor. Conducive. The soft lights are conducive to the quiet atmosphere of the shop. Incinerate. This device is used to incinerate waste. Propel. New technology is propelling that industry. Charade. Everyone is saying their marriage is a charade. Solicit. The festival board solicited donations from local businesses. Glean. This is what I've gleaned from the literature. Equity. You need some equity in your home before you take out a loan. Allure. I was on a diet but couldn't resist the allure of the meal.
Malleable. Most metals are malleable as they can be bent and shaped. Quaint. The town still has a lot of quaint old houses. Subordinate. The organization is subordinate to the Ministry of Defense. Conveyance. The conveyance of goods by sea takes much time. Peer. The child star is popular among his peers. Captive. All of the captive foxes were released into the wild. Inherent. It is the inherent right of every individual. Amenity. All rooms have basic amenities such as air conditioning and TV. Buildup. The buildup of greenhouse gases causes global warming. Revere. Mother Teresa is revered for her service to the poor. Pinnacle. Winning the award was the pinnacle of her career. Pallid. She grew pallid with anger.
Extrinsic. Money and praise are examples of extrinsic motivation. Dispatch. The government decided to dispatch a medical team to the country. Concoct. He concocted a false story about the incident. Forage. Bears are foraging for food around the campground. Infiltrate. The agency had been infiltrated by spies. Dismiss. The chairperson dismissed the proposal as meaningless. Ingenious. She came up with an ingenious solution to the problem. Embed. Microchips are embedded in the device. Premonition. Many people have a premonition that the economy will go wrong. Ensue. They'll have to cope with the problems that ensue from a food shortage. Enroll. She'd like to enroll in a ballet school. Veracity. The police suspected the veracity of his story.
Adorn. The walls were adorned with paintings and photographs. Premium. I forgot to pay my auto insurance premium last month. Enumerate. He enumerated the benefits expected from the project. Regale. He regaled us with stories of his days as a pilot. Undergo. The country's economy is undergoing massive changes. Persecute. They were persecuted for their religious beliefs. Saturate. The constant rain saturated the ground. Distend. The children's stomachs were distended from lack of nutrition. Auspicious. The team made an auspicious start, winning its first game. Compunction. He has no compunctions about lying to everyone. Onrush. The onrush of technology has brought about many changes in society. Percolate. A large amount of rainwater percolated through the soil into the drinking well.
Charlatan. Many suspected he was a charlatan. Pander. The media should not pander to public opinion. Apparition. The girl insisted that she saw an apparition at that room. Huddle. They huddled together for warmth. Creed. The students shouldn't be discriminated by religion or creed. Ambush. The soldiers were killed in an ambush. Coalesce. Those groups gradually coalesced into a political party. Penitent. She is truly penitent for her sins. Decorum. She always behaves with decorum and modesty. Chasten. The team members felt chastened by the results of the game. Enact. The new law was enacted at the end of September. Resuscitate. The rescue workers resuscitated a nearly drowned boy.
Adjudicate. They adjudicated the dispute between the supermarket and the suppliers. Denigrate. You shouldn't denigrate any religious belief. Foment. The government has accused media outlets of helping foment the unrest. Illustrious. He is one of Japan's most illustrious authors. Simplistic. This novel offers a simplistic view of human nature. Invigorate. The cool, fresh air invigorated him. Complimentary. That hotel offers complimentary shuttle service. Integrate. Can you integrate these files into one? Usurp. It must not be allowed to usurp the rights of copyright holders. Parry. His shot was parried by the goalkeeper. Foray. They made a foray into enemy territory. Wrench. The thief wrenched the bag from her hand.
Heave. I heaved my backpack onto the sleeper. Fumble. He fumbled for a switch in the dark. Slash. The company slashed their workforce by 20%. Void. He tried to fill the void left by his girlfriend's death. Diffident. The clerk was diffident about his own work. Postulate. The theory postulates several reasons for the increase of child allergy cases. Caricature. The art gallery exhibits different kinds of caricatures. Rectify. The government intended to rectify the trade imbalance. Pungent. The room was filled with the pungent smell of burning plastic. Deferential. They received deferential treatment from the hotel staff. Incapacitate. He was incapacitated by a stroke. Hobble. The old man hobbled along with a stick.
Perish. 2 men perished in the fire. Cogitate. We may need to cogitate further on this matter. Disband. The League of Nations was disbanded in 1946. Erroneous. Her argument is based on erroneous assumptions. Amity. The 2 countries signed the Treaty of Amity and Commerce. Prevail. The defendant prevails in the civil action. Rejuvenate. This lotion rejuvenates your skin. Debacle. The failure of financial reform caused the debacle of the cabinet. Procrastinate. I tend to procrastinate about making a decision. Pinpoint. They have trouble pinpointing the cause. Reiterate. The officer reiterated the order to destroy the bridge. Ecstatic. She was ecstatic to have passed the exam.
Proviso. This article contains several important provisos. Pretense. Her illness was a pretense. Supplement. She supplements the family income by working part-time. Pester. She has been pestered by persistent coughs. Candid. The boss gave her candid advice. Hunch. I had a hunch that she was going to win. Evict. They were evicted from their apartment. Snub. He snubbed me by refusing to shake hands with me. Legitimate. He had a legitimate reason to reject that offer. Felicity. She appeared to be in a state of complete felicity. Infraction. He was suspended from school for infractions of school rules. Merge. These companies merged to form a new electronics giant.
Lethal. A patient died after receiving a lethal dose of the wrong medication. Overrun. The project's cost overran by 30%. Entrepreneur. He is a promising entrepreneur. Nimble. You'll need nimble fingers to operate the tool. Ingratiate. He is eager to ingratiate himself with his new boss. Mirage. I have seen a mirage in the desert. Chisel. The artist chiseled a large block of ice into the shape of an angel. Brevity. Brevity is important when you write emails. Provoke. His remarks provoked a strong reaction from other members. Emanate. The groundless rumor emanated from a certain TV program. Recant. 1 week later, he recanted his confession. Elocution. She decided to take elocution lessons to lose her Scottish accent.
Reverie. The sound startled her out of her reverie. Defy. The students openly defied their teachers. Coincidence. By coincidence, I took the same train with him. Astute. Her novels are filled with astute observations on human nature. Nomadic. The nomadic group practices various types of trading. Shove. He shoved the ticket into his pants pocket. Coin. He is good at coining new words. Flack. She got a lot of flack for her recent interview. Soggy. The bread got soggy with the sauce. Venue. The place is an ideal venue for the summit. Induce. The UV radiation induces DNA damage. Poach. They were poaching in Japanese territorial waters.
Shatter. The impact of the crash shattered the windshield. Lenient. The accused was given a lenient sentence. Infancy. Electric car technology is still in its infancy. Evacuate. Residents were forced to evacuate their homes due to the hurricane. Din. She had to raise her voice to be heard above the din in the restaurant. Mediocre. The food in the new restaurant was mediocre. Circulate. The book was banned, but its copies circulated widely. Paternity. He refused to admit paternity or pay child support. Smother. The pasta was smothered in tomato sauce. Lineage. He can trace his lineage back to the 14th century. Migration. Human migration to urban areas has increased in recent years. Mandatory. Education is mandatory for 9 years in Japan.
Cramp. The tennis player got a cramp in his right leg during the match. Precept. This book offers many useful precepts. Ailment. Headaches are one of the most common ailments. Interstellar. At that time, most scientists believed interstellar travel would be impossible. Synthesize. She succeeded in synthesizing a new chemical compound. Disrupt. Train services were disrupted due to signal failures. Pragmatic. We have adopted a pragmatic approach to solving problems. Fabricate. The evidence was fabricated. Prod. That sound prodded him back into reality. Spurn. The baseball player spurned the offer from a major league team. Limb. The company is manufacturing artificial limbs. Enlighten. The preacher enlightened the people.
Expertise. She has expertise in marketing. Perpetuate. The war perpetuates the poverty in the country. Anemic. Women are more likely to be anemic than men. Defamatory. She sued the newspaper claiming the article was defamatory. Delve. The police delved deeply into the suspect's past. Entity. The north of the country is a cultural entity. Deploy. The police officers were deployed around the school. Volatile. The country's economic situation is highly volatile. Compliance. Compliance with the regulation is required for all of us. Hefty. That case cost her a hefty legal fee. Daunting. Writing an effective resume in English is a daunting task. Autonomy. The students are given a lot of autonomy for their own learning.
Outage. The heavy rain caused power outages which affected thousands of people. Subtle. There is a subtle difference between the two products. Muffle. The woman was muffled in a fur coat. Adjunct. She was hired as an adjunct professor at Columbia University. Swirl. Rumors are swirling about her involvement in the case. Swarm. The swarm of locusts moved from field to field. Wanton. Certain human activities lead to the wanton destruction of the environment. Replenish. Don't fail to replenish the toilet paper. Pundit. He is a former professional footballer and sports TV pundit. Consolidate. The president's visit will consolidate the relationship between the two countries. Momentous. Graduation is a momentous occasion for all students. Erode. The coast has eroded significantly over the past decade.
Strive. The politician is striving to present a clean image of himself. Excel. The student excels particularly in music and art. Impeach. The politician was impeached for his corrupt conduct. Espouse. We espouse the belief that learning is a continuing process of growth. Clumsy. She is clumsy with her hands. Menace. Drugs are a menace to our society. Privatize. The company was privatized 5 years ago. Disposal. Safe disposal of nuclear waste is a difficult problem. Efficacy. The efficacy of the new medicine remains questionable. Integrity. The judge is highly respected for his integrity. Strut. The models strutted down the runway in the latest fashion. Revert. He soon reverted to his old drinking habits.
Data file. Contamination. Deforestation. Pollutant. Canopy. Habitat. Tributary. Poaching. Logging. Crust. Plateau. Lava. Aquifer. Crevice. Geological deposit. Cataclysm. Gravity. Axis. Magnetosphere. Magnetic reversal. Dynamo effect. Precipitation. Hail. Aridity. Drought. Mudslide. Asteroid. Dwarf planet. Mission. Meteor. Proton. Radioactivity. Convection. Arsenic. Fluoride. Petroleum. Zinc. amalgam, solvent, fermentation, carbohydrate, lactose, protein, trans fatty acid, clamp, phonograph, thermostat, circuitry, polymer fiber, cyberspace.